We've been playing an absolute ton of Forza Motorsport 7, which got us thinking about all the amazing places that the series has taken us so far. We've raced on some of the world's most iconic tracks and a few that can only exist inside a video game. To celebrate the release of the game, Forza is taking its racing experience to the craziest location yet. They're putting racing seats on the edge of NFL football fields to give you the best seat in the house at upcoming games. We've got 2 tickets to give away to a game at Twickenham where you can try these amazing seats for yourself. So to be in with a chance of winning, all you need to do is tell us your favourite location that Forza has taken you. All the information you need is down in the description below. But to help inspire you, I thought I'd share some of my favourite places that the Forza series has taken me. The poster boy of Forza Motorsport 4, the Bernese Alps track, remains a massive showcase for Xbox 360, with crisp, snowy mountains providing a sprawling backdrop for the racing action. You feel like you should be able to see your breath in front of you as you line up on the grid. It looks properly cold. While not quite an ice rink, the track itself is a high-speed driftathon, with several ultra-long turns and a perilous chicane section near the end. If you survive that, you get an obscenely steep bank corner to lean on. The track has appeared in every subsequent iteration of Forza Motorsport, looking devilishly handsome in Forza 6, especially when your car has a reflective hood like our Dodge Viper here. What a classic this is. The Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca is a real-world track that's been a Forza staple since Forza Motorsport 2. Set in a central Californian dust bowl that used to be a lake, it features dramatic elevation changes as it winds its way around the natural basin. All that dust makes for a very slippery racetrack, which only adds to the fun. The flattish section in the first third of the lap has got some really meaty right-hand corners with satisfying curbs before you hit the back stretch, with a tricky left-hand kink that can make or break your lap time. You then arrive at speed for one of motorsport's most famous and challenging chicanes, the corkscrew. It's so severe it feels like someone went mad with a track design tool, but it's like that in real life too. Suffice to say, it's always absolute chaos in races, both online and off. It's so much fun. After being notably absent in Forzas 5 and 6, Maple Valley is back in Forza 7, which is very exciting news because before going AWOL in Forza 5 and 6, this fictional circuit had been part of the Forza series since the very beginning, as seen here in Forza Motorsport on the original Xbox. The track itself is a real test of any racer's skill, thanks to a gently cambered, long sweeping right-hand bend at the very start, flat-out sections with roller coaster-like undulations, and an incredibly tricky snaking back section that ends with a right-hander masquerading as a chicane. Whatever car you're driving, there's almost certainly a line you can take that will let you fly through it flat out. Lifting is quitting, so get your foot down and hold on tight. They don't get much more technical than Mount Panorama. Introduced in Forza 5, this real-world Australian monster has no room for error, almost all the way round, with concrete walls lining a thin ribbon of twisting, undulating tarmac. Braking points get skewed thanks to awkward cambers. You'll need your full gearbox to prevail, and you've got no other choice than to learn where it goes wrong via good old-fashioned trial and error. By the way, there will be a lot of errors, which is particularly annoying when it's on the last corner, which is pretty easy compared to the rest of the track. But the best bit is after your trial through the first 2/3 of the lap is when you get let loose out into the wide open countryside, sprinting away like a dog at the beach with one of the longest flat out sections in the series. Just listen to that rev limiter. The modern-day Nurburgring in Germany is a solid racetrack, but it's the infamous Nordschleife or North Loop variant that's the stuff of legend. Dubbed the Green Hell by Sir Jackie Stewart, the Nordschleife is a treacherous 20.8km circuit through the beautiful forest of the Eifel Mountains. You're watching the Forza Motorsport 7 version, which looks just like real life, but this was also one of the very few real-world tracks licensed for the original Forza Motorsport, which still looks comparatively impressive some 12 years later, thanks to some absolutely vast raw distances on show. Nordschleife appeared in every Forza Motorsport title, and it's always a massive challenge. Go on, try to do it without hitting a wall. We dare you. Forza 5's Prague track was shown at the start of the Xbox One generation, forever securing it a special place in our hearts. But once you get past the graphical appeal of the beautiful architecture and that wonderful view across the city about a third of the way around the lap, you'll find it's a real driver's track. The chicane section at the end of the lap is a test of braking, driving line, and your own discipline. You feel like you should go faster, but sometimes it's better to keep your car in one piece rather than your ego. And the right-hander that leads you away from the city view is a real test of driving line and your turn-in ability. Basically, this is one of the best original tracks in decades and one of the biggest jewels in Forza's crown. Forza has always been an automotive party, and what better place for a party than Rio de Janeiro? Rio is the showpiece track from Forza 6, but did you know there was a Rio track in the first game too? And here it is. It wasn't a particularly memorable track, but it's interesting to see the same bright colors and densely populated streets on Microsoft's very first console. As for the current Rio, it's a wonder of the gaming world. The statue of Christ the Redeemer looks over the action as you plummet up and down huge hills, thunder into a tunnel under the dense multicolored buildings, and drive past confetti cannons by the waterfront. Every track should have confetti cannons because it's another superb original track that you can only play in Forza. Road America is steeped in history, both in the real world and the virtual one. In real life, it's been hosting races since 1955, and unlike most old tracks, we're looking at you, Silverstone, it's maintained its original layout, and yes, it was present in Forza 1, which you're watching right here. Just look at those trees. Still in the series today, only now pin sharp and picture perfect, Road America features many mid to high speed corners that really test your cornering ability. Too slow and you'll feel unsatisfied, too fast and you'll be in the agricultural business. Best bit, the corner under the Corvette branded bridge, which is hidden behind the crest of a hill. Get that right and you'll feel like a king. Another real world track, this is on most Formula 1 drivers' list of favourite circuits, and it's easy to see why. After the initial hairpin at La Source, you head down the hill to the famous Eau Rouge, a flat out or near flat out chicane depending on your car choice. Get it right and it spits you out the other side with absolutely massive speed down the following straight, which you can use to pass your opponents, well, if you're braver than them on the brakes at least. While there are other famous corners too, Eau Rouge is where it's at. Be careful though, it has been the scene of many terrible accidents over the years, and Forza is no exception. Like Maple Valley, Suzuka was AWOL for a time, but thankfully now it's back in Forza 7. As you can see here, one of the few figure 8 tracks in the world, and no, that doesn't mean you have to dodge cross traffic. Thankfully, there's a bridge. It was designed as a test track for Honda's cars. As a result, you get pretty much every kind of corner designed to test you and your car. From the high-speed snaking section after the first right-hander to the flat-out 130R, well, flat out if you dare. There's also a tight hairpin that you approach not only at speed, but while turning in the other direction. Suzuka is an immediately recognizable and enjoyable circuit, and we're so glad that it's back in Forza 7. So there we have it, just some of my favorite tracks from the Forza franchise. Do make sure to go and enter that competition. It is an awesome once-in-a-lifetime experience. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. If you are new to the channel, drop a thumbs up and let us know what you think down in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.